In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to become the go-to authority in your niche. Now, why is it I decided to say how to become a go-to authority in your niche versus how to build a profitable personal brand or how to just implement content systems? Well, it's down to these three things. What does it actually mean to be an authority? Well, I've broken it down into this. People respect your views, you're the first name that comes up to mind, and very importantly, people already are saving up to work with you. Now, me as an entrepreneur, once I hit certain financial goals, I've already got in mind who I would want to purchase their mentorship or purchase their program. Now, the reason why I think becoming an authority is really going to be the newest shift in personal branding and what people want to achieve is because these people I've been on a call with them, I haven't spoken to them directly, but just through the content that they've made and the free resources that they've given out, I already want to give my money to them. And you want to be in a position where people are already pre-sold to the solutions that you have. And the only way to do that is this system that I've built here. Now, before I even get into it, why does this system even exist? But to give you some context, I used to be a videographer, I used to be an editor, and I've kind of been in the park before doing loads of different things. So there was one time I was hired as a videographer by somebody that does property, and I was on like a monthly UK minimum wage, which was about £2,000 a month. And it was great, and we were doing videos and the content looked good, but I could tell that how is this going to actually make sense for what you're trying to do? We're recording random videos, there's no real system towards what we're building, and as you could probably guess, we stopped working together. So from that point, I've always said to myself that if I'm ever working with people, I want to make a solution that people really need. Not hiring random editors, not getting videographers for one-off shoots. What actually makes sense for people to build a brand, for people to separate themselves to everybody else. And that's where I've came up with the media mode system. So going into the system, it's 4 different phases. Your visual identity, which is how you look. Your positioning, which is how you separate yourself from others. Your messaging, which is how you sound. And your leverage is how you outcompete. So let's get straight into it. Now, your visual identity in terms of how you look, I've broken it down into these 3 simple things. It's the colors that you use, the fonts that you use, and your filming style. Now, using a combination of just these 3, you can instantly stand out compared to everybody else. Everybody knows in every other vicinity of our life, our first impression matters, and the same thing applies to content. So in terms of colors, I have light green and black and white as my colors. The fonts that I use is Helvetica and Garamond. And the filming style I use is Camera Raw Talking Head. However, you can see people that do more cinematic kind of videos or people that just use raw iPhone videos. Using these 3 kind of pillars, you can make yourself instantly different and separate to everybody else. And the best place to go for colors is to go to colors.com, fonts, the font, and filming styles is just studying your Instagram. So now the second thing you want to do after you've solidified your visual identity is your positioning. And this is how you're going to separate yourself to everybody else. And I've written down this thing. Your edge is the thing that makes you different. And I've kind of broken it down into these 4 components. Your background, the method that you use to get people results, your perspective, and your story. So my background is, my parents are Zimbabwean. I grew up in Gravesend. And your background doesn't just have to be location based. It could just be your background, maybe even in skills. Were you a chef? Were you different things that you've just done in your life before. Obviously, my method is to do with content, and my perspective is I'm a Christian, so I see things through a biblical and spiritual lens as well. And also I studied philosophy, and that was a whole nother tangent as well. So philosophy is another perspective I have. And I've shown you these 2 photos of me at a photo shoot where I was filming a series that I created before called My Testimony. It was like another thing, but that's just part of my journey and my story that I've been on. And also just me with David, which I have a Christian podcast on as well. Now, the reason why these 4 things are so different, and it means that nobody will be able to touch you when you come to market for whatever you're trying to sell is that everybody in your niche is competing horizontally. The same things, they're showing up in the same ways. Everyone's the same. But with this positioning, it's how you can compete vertically. And going into the next slide, I'll show you how using all of these different unique factors about yourself will allow you to say messages that no AI could ever copy, and you just sound completely unique. And uniqueness and separation is what gives people authority, which is what we're trying to achieve. So into messaging, which is how we sound, I've broken it into this little title as well. Your message should make the right person think, this is exactly my problem. And as I said before, each of the angles become a content, each of the edges become a content angle. So before, where you'd maybe say how to build a personal brand, as a Christian, I would be like how Jesus would build a brand. Before, I would say something like how to get clients. If I was a university student while making my business, I could say how to make money while in university. Before, you could say something like get started in appointment setting, and another one would be the best way to pay rent without working. Each of our edges become a different way to say the same thing that everyone else is saying, but in a new, fresh way. And that makes it seem like we're doing something completely different, when really we're saying the same things, but we're presenting it perfectly. And then the next thing is leverage. So this is how we outcompete with everyone else. Everyone else is stuck using random editors, taking hours to make one piece of content. In these 4 things, we'll make it so easy to make content effortless and to be able to show up again and again. So the first thing is batch recording. So that's coming up with multiple ideas, using the edges and the messaging that I've showed you and recording them all in one session. Also, you can use your long form and then cut that down into shorter clips. And that will allow you to have a consistent posting cadence. Some of the biggest problems that people have is that content is such a drag, content is so much effort to ideate, to script, to do this, to do that. All of that's eliminated with this system, and it allows you to show up again and again, day after day. And also, finding yourself a good editor. And the way to do that, which I haven't included in the photos, is to go to a place like Online PH or use Instagram or Twitter to just type in editors and then just message people from there to find editors. And the number one thing about leverage and outcompeting other people is that you need to find a content format that gives you energy and it doesn't take energy away from you. So this is exactly how to go from being inconsistent with your content, not knowing how to show up, having people constantly question your solution, to you building authority, people respecting you, people looking for your opinions and you're the first name that comes to mind, and people already saving their money wanting to work with you. Now, if you want that built out for you, DM me on Instagram, brand, and I'll be happy to get in contact with you. Alright, cool. Take care.